You are the only reality. You've heard this before, but what does it really mean? When you hear things like you are the only reality, imagination is the only reality, your desires are one with you, you are source, you are God, any of it. What does it all mean? Today we unpack that on Rewrite Your Reality with this. I'm your host, and thank you so much for joining me for today. Also, if you do like my content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop me an email or a question in the comment section, and I do always look forward to hearing from you. Now for today's video, you are the only reality. Why? What does that mean? Looking at it from a bird's eye perspective, you are source. Now, looking at the image, you will see timelines. We refer to these things as alternate parallel reality experiences going on right now. But we usually tend to think of those things as if they were concurrently happening with us. As if, taking today's year, 2026, right? We think that there's another version of us in 2026 alongside us that we need to jump into and live that life from that point. While every other point, 2025, 500, 3000, whatever, however we refer to time and experiencing, is happening over there and behind us, but they are concurrent versions of us or whomever in those timelines that are going forward. That's not how it is. But we use these ideas to explain and express what reality is, while not really being able to express what reality actually is, because reality is reality. Reality is anything. Reality is every which way you can think about it. But what's thinking about reality? You see, you are contemplating reality with your divine mind, the same consciousness that you are, the same consciousness that we tend to look for and wonder, is this consciousness? Is that consciousness? No, you as a consciousness, recognizing you are conscious. That's reality, that's divinity. So now in the picture, that source is contemplating all of reality while being in it. Just like how you imagine, exactly how you imagine. When you are imagining, you know you are creating an entire world, an entire universe, in fact, right? And in that universe, you put yourself, your perspective in it through an avatar, as we have come to know that word. And you experience the experiencing that your avatar experiences in that world you have now called forth and created. That's what God does. God created an entire world, and every single perspective in it, it is experiencing simultaneously. So you, as that God, as imagination, are being every conceivable timeline and perspective and perception and viewpoint and vantage point and person that could possibly be in that specific snapshot of a world, an idea. What is that idea? I am living my dream life. I am living a healthy life. I am living a wealthy life. I am living my life that I am in love with. But every single person in that reality sees every single person in that reality living whatever life they're living in that reality, but the only one that ever matters is the specific person's point of view in and as knowing themselves in that reality, because it's only one reality. So all those timelines coexist. All those expressed film reels, that's what. Expressed film reels are nothing more than all superimposed moments that you as that divinity are contemplating, because they all exist in the same place. They all literally exist in the divine mind right now. So no matter which one you think you are on, you are actually the conceiver, the creator, the contemplator, the source of it by your own conscious thinking of it. They're all happening simultaneously. So whichever one you choose to focus on, whichever timeline you think you are choosing to focus on by going to the end, you are in an entire film strip. You're going to the end of that film strip, but that film strip is spread out and you are experiencing it moment to moment to moment to moment, and they're all interconnected. And that's really how infinity would be perceived, if we could really perceive such a thing at once. You can only know infinity. It's happening all at once. And that's really a really cool image that I just found to display how these timelines all just exist, all existing, all blending into one another. There's no point not connected to any other point, all coexisting right now, all versions of your physically focused self that exists right now in every single one of those points, in every single one of those frames, in every single one of those infinite scripts, in every single story you can conceive of right now. In fact, what you are conceiving is one of those stories, regardless of whether you say, I hope this happens, I don't hope this happens, I want this to happen, I don't want this to happen. You can only ever conceive of yourself, and the manner in which you conceive of yourself is what you are experiencing, or in what you say you are, what you are assuming and choosing to believe of your life right now. That you are the creator, and as the creator, this is my reality. I am who I am. That is a depiction of infinity, and you living those infinite lives happening all right now. But that's not just your life. Those are all interconnected lives living together. It's not even just one span of time. It's all of infinity, from the conceivable singular moment of creation until the conceivable end of our known universe. And every other parallel idea of it, all just coexisting, all overlapping on itself. No beginning, no end. As a three-dimensionally focused identity, we believe in beginnings and endings. But there's no true beginning, there's no true ending, because infinity can't have a starting point or an end point. It just goes on forever. So in reality, what it really looks like is that nothing, a non-local nothingness. And that's the only way infinity can actually be anything, because it has to just know what it is. You see, even though that screen is blank, the computer, the frame, the screen has to know it's blank. And it can know it can be anything. But it can't be anything it can't not be. It cannot be something it can't not be, because it can only ever be what it can be. And anything that it can be, it must be able to be and conceive itself of being. So if it can't conceive itself of being something, that something must not exist, and you wouldn't even be able to contemplate it. So if you can contemplate it, if you can imagine it, if you can assume it, you can affirm it, you can script it, you can think about it, you can dream about it, it must already be readily available for you to experience and call forth right now as a desired physical experience unfolding for your life right now. Think about that blank page. Think about what I could not put there. You cannot contemplate something I can't put there. That's the point. It's like, no, but you can't put a real thing there. No, but within the parameters of the screen, of what we are discussing on the screen, is perfectly able to be put there. We usually tend to think that three-dimensional reality is limited in some kind of way, with something where we can't really comprehend something we can't think about that can be here. But that's only because we are limiting it ourselves. Anything that truly can't be, we can't contemplate. We can't understand, we can't imagine, because it's not actually there. So a life that you can imagine must actually be there. And going a bit further here, there's no literally, there's no other reality happening. See, when I say there's no other reality happening, we think now, well, you were just showing a blank screen. Isn't that reality happening? No. It's still frames. It is a still frame that we are not giving light to, we are not giving life to. It's gone back to potential, and we are experiencing this now moment. But here's the thing, who is really experiencing this now moment? You specifically, as a consciousness, from your point of view, are the only reality happening. Because in your point of view, you are imagining me. In your point of view, the only movement you are seeing and being and perceiving is your own. No one else is moving. You are experiencing your movement, and your part of your movement is experiencing everyone else moving according to your own assumptions. And the law of assumption, like Never Goddard talks about, the reality you imagine already exists. You are giving it movement. It's still when you're not. But you don't have to continuously giving it movement because you are moving in and as that reality because you chose it. And consciousness is already being everything all the time. Just like my computer, just like my screen, just like the video. It's being that potential of that blank frame, of that frame with the lines, of that initial frame with the source picture. It's being all of that right now, but it's not active in our visual perception, in our three-dimensional experiencing right now, but we are just aware of the potential of it existing right now. You see, that's how it works. It's always being everything, even if everything is not being perceived in the moment, but your movement of source experiencing it is actually the only reality happening because you are reality giving life to yourself. So nothing is actually being created or moved or moving. It's just you. So what seems like movement is actually only your point of view moving through states. From your perspective, you are the only consciousness moving through states. I merged the word through and state, and I tried to say trait. You are going down a path, or rather you are unfolding it from or as awareness. That path is static. It's not going anywhere, hasn't gone anywhere, you haven't moved it, it's not moving, you are the only movement, and every single other person in your reality is not actually perceiving reality in the way you are, but they, from their points of view, are perceiving reality exactly the way you are, but only from their point of view. But you are seeing what they would be perceiving from your point of view, from your own choice, whatever choice that they already had made, and you are witnessing that in that manner, in that path, in that line, in that frame. So as you move through a state, you experience others who would move through a state from their side in relation to you. Only to you. You're the only movement. Everything else is literally still unfolding in the singular movement of you. Just like for me, just like from my perspective, I'm the only thing moving in and in my perspective, but every other point of consciousness is consciousness moving from their perspective, but from mine, it's not. It's stillness and movement at the same time. It's everything being everything at the same time. From your point of view, you are the movement, experiencing your movement, but nothing is really going anywhere. Their movement is what their movement would be. My movement is what my movement is from your point of view, but I'm not actually experiencing it from your point of view. You are experiencing a version of me that relates to you. And that's one of the versions that I am presented as a physical form as. Just like everyone else in your reality, including your physical self. Their movement is what their movement would be along that choice of state. You are seeing what their movement would be along that choice from your experience of your movement of yours. Just like if you were watching a movie, you're seeing every single person's movement, but each single person has their perspective. But from any one person's perspective, they are only ever seeing the automated response their version of themselves brings out. But because it's infinite, because everyone has a version of themselves that is already wherever it has to be, which is everywhere, it seems as if it is of their free will. But it's not, because free will is free will of choosing from everything that exists. See the trick of free will. The trick of free will is that nothing actually happens outside of infinity already having created it. So you can't actually make a new movement that didn't already exist within source being infinite. That's really the point here. So free will of navigating through your infinite states. It's not just ideas. It is literally anything. I can put my head anywhere in the frame and it must already have existed. So I have the free will to observe myself in the frame like this, but I don't have the free will to create a version of reality that didn't already exist, but I have the free will to experience what already existed. So it's free will of experiencing, and everyone else is relating to that from my point of view. So you are seeing what their movement would be along that choice from your experience of your movement of your choice. And that's what everyone is you pushed out means. Not because you are controlling them. You can't control anybody. You can't control anything. You only control what you are experiencing. But because that state already contains how everyone appears and acts in relation to you, who and what you assume yourself to now be. So when you move into that state in perspective or perception, you experience the version of them that belongs to it, the state. Everyone belongs to a state, every state. Or rather, it belongs to you as awareness, because you are all states right now. Not your physical self. Your physical self is part of the state too. Your physical self belongs to you. Your realness, your trueness, your beingness, your awareness. Your own physical movement is part of this as well, as I've said. What you do, where you go, what you say, and what others do are already contained within the state. But no matter what happens, it doesn't actually change anything. It doesn't mean anything, because nothing is being forced or changed. The state already exists within all the interactions inside of it. So there's no actual movement. There's only the creation and experience of reality itself. Consciousness is already everything. What seems like movement is only awareness moving through already existing states, and from each perspective it appears as the only reality happening. So that really is the thing, okay? And when you understand that you are making a choice of where to be aware of yourself, of how you are going to now see yourself, of who and what you are now choosing to be of yourself, recognizing I am the creator. And as the creator, this is my end. This is who I say I am, and this is what's unfolding for me now. I am this identity, and everything that's unfolding is as my desired end. It's unfolding as my desired end, regardless of what it looks like, moment to moment, frame to frame, page to page, scene to scene, day to day. Because the only thing that matters is the core story. It's like in Harry Potter. No matter what happens to him, he's the chosen one. If there are 27 books, he will still defeat Voldemort at the very end. Lord of the Rings, if there are 500 books, Frodo will still chuck the ring into the volcano. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long or how short or how many pages or how many scenes or how many whatever is going on or how many people he meets along the way or doesn't. It means nothing. That ending is assured of that identity. That identity does that thing, and everything else in between is the experiencing of him being that identity who does that scene. That's who you are. That's why your end is the only thing that ever matters, because you lighting up your end is actually you choosing that identity that experiences that end, and you are unfolding and walking in that desired identity who experiences that end, who has experienced that end as a consciousness of your desired dream life. So walk in the end of you lighting up your version of your dream life. In assumption, doesn't really matter how, it doesn't matter because you know what that is. Yeah, sure, you're always thinking about your dream life in a different way, a different thing, a different moment, a different part. But the identity who experiences that dream life, the true identity, which is I am, is reality. And you are that I am. And I am your host, Reese. Thank you so much for joining me today. Much love and light. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for dropping the questions. Thank you for emailing me as well. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining the shorts. Thank you for all the new people that I popped in and asking questions and really getting the flow going. Much love, much light. Thank you for joining the TikTok page. There's also a Facebook page available if you want to join that and check that out. You can post questions in the community section. I'll answer them. Other people will answer them. Quite cool. Much love, much light, and I will see you all in the next one.